Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the top 3 openings for black against d4. So, the way we do this is we take the highest winning percentage move for black and the most common move for white. We follow it along for about 5 or 6 moves and we see an interesting opening. So let's dive right in. So, as every one of these openings today, white opens d4 and we're going to have an interesting opening. Knight to c6. This is considered the McKenna's defense. This is an unusual opening. I haven't seen it before, but let's see how it plays out. Following up, white plays c4. At this point, black is going to play e5 here. So e5, we have a 56% win percentage from this position from black. d5, kicking that black knight. The knight needs to make a decision on where it's going to go, and it moves to knight to e7. Now, this designates the Lithuanian variation, and we still have a 58% win percentage from black's position here. Knight c3 for white, and then the second most common move for black here, knight f6 with a 62% win percentage. Not too shabby. e4 from white, very classical chess here, taking control of the center, developing some pieces, and expanding in the center. Here, black plays knight to g6, opening up squares for the bishop, rerouting the knight over to the king side. We have a 60% win percentage from black from this position. And bishop to d3, played by white, and bishop c5. Here there's a 68% win percentage. You can see that black actually has 3 developed pieces, starting to eye the weak f2 square. Black is ready to castle, and because white has spent so much time pushing pawns to kick that knight, is actually slightly behind in development. So, an interesting opening, definitely a little offbeat, might be worth giving a try. All right, let's take a look at the second game here. As all of these openings do include d4, here we go. We have d4. Again, looking at it from the black side of the board. Here, we're going to go into a Benoni. White replies by going d5. d5 pushing past that pawn, cramping black's position a little bit. Now there's 2 main moves here, both with the same win percentage of 47%. Let's take a look at the first one here, which is e5. So here we have e5. The second option is knight f6. So if we follow e5 here, e5 has a 47% win percentage. White plays c4 and f5 from black here with a 51% win percentage. Really massing a strong center here. Knight c3. And we have 2 options forking off of this position. We have a 55% win percentage playing a6. However, e4 is the most common reply from white and is really a change in the opening here. So in this position, black has a 55% win percentage. However, if white finds the move e4, it drops down to 35%. So every other move basically is winning for black. However, if white finds this move, it's fairly strong and probably not worth the risk. So it's a high risk, high reward type situation. All right, let's go back and look at the other option, which was to play bishop to playing knight to f6. When black plays knight to f6, we have a 52% win percentage. White replies with bishop to g5. In this position, black has a 55% chance to win. There are several moves here to consider. D6 is an option with a 58% win percentage. G6 is also a nice try with a 53% win percentage. And finally, E4 is a nice, interesting try. It has an 83% win percentage, but a very low trial right there. So take that with a grain of salt. All right, so we had one other option here when we went all the way back here. So we were in this position, and instead of playing E5, we had the option to play knight to F6. Playing knight to F6 here, again, we had a 47% win percentage. White goes C4, protecting that pawn. Black now plays A6 with a 53% win percentage. Knight C3, B5, undermining that pawn there. We have still have a 57% win percentage. C takes B5, and this indicates that we're going into a Benko gambit. This is considered the Zaitsev system. C takes B5 with a 58% win percentage from this position. Then we go in and have knight takes B5 and bishop to A6 with a 61% win percentage for black here. Overall, an interesting option, definitely something to consider. If you're looking for something a little bit offbeat with a high win percentage, if you prep this a little bit, you're probably going to have an advantage, regardless of what the computer might say. All right, let's take a look at our third opening. As all of these are, we have D4 from the black side, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Polish defense. We've taken a look and we've seen the Polish opening before, but now we're looking at the Polish defense with B5. Very classical reply, E4, knight F3 here, attacking that pawn, E5, the most common reply, followed by knight to D5. This actually transposes us into an Alekhine defense O'Sullivan gambit. So, following this up, bishop takes B5, C5, undermining those center pawns, C4 attacking the knight. Now this gets interesting. C takes D4 is the winning reply here, not taking the knight. Queen takes D4. Let's take a look. What happens if white goes ahead and takes that knight there? Queen check, regaining that material and having a nice strong attack here. So queen takes the pawn, not the knight. And we go knight to B4 here. Knight to B4, really an interesting try. We have a lot of different options here. If black is eyeing to come into this square here, knight forking the king, queen, and rook. So white has a lot of replies here. All of them are not too shabby for black. We have options where the queen might defend the C2 square this way. The computer line suggests coming all the way back to D1. You can try things like this as well, where you go to C3. The most common try is to go knight to A3. However, that generally works out best for black because they have this resource here of queen to D5, preparing for a discovered attack. So a lot of great options here. We have the Polish defense transposed into an Alekhine defense. We had a Benoni defense, and we had a McKenna's defense. So all three of these openings are top winning openings, regardless of what the computer might say on online over-the-board type chess. So give it a try. Let me know how it goes for you. And in case you forgot, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and give me a little bit of love. Appreciate it. Have a great day.